Hello everybody, my name is David. Thank you for watching today. This is my weekly Q&A, question and answer video, where I'm answering people's questions from last week, yours. Any questions you guys have, please go down in the comment section, ask me anything you want. I'll answer them next week. I'm sorry if I miss your questions. Don't worry about them being repetitive. If I don't understand, or I misunderstand, or you don't understand me, just keep asking me. Ask me anything you want, guys. I don't care. Repetitive, we need to hear it. People watching this for 2 years still need to hear the same thing over and over again still. So ask me anything you want, okay, everybody? I recommend something to you guys, try to every week. This week I'm going to recommend another book, a good one. Well, they're all good, the ones I recommend. This one's called The 4 Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz, and it is wonderful. Someone I deeply care about recommended this book, and she loves it. She read it twice and says, David, you have to recommend this to everybody. It's that good. So I'm going to read it next. Anybody else that reads it, please let me know what you think of it. I just want to read the 4 agreements to you. Maybe that'll help you guys understand or catch you. Number 1, be impeccable with your word. Real good lesson about integrity. That's all we have. Number 2, don't take anything personally. Awesome rule. I've lived by this since I was a kid. I've literally been telling myself this, not saying that I don't take things personally still. I do. I have. But I tell people, it's a great thing to tell people. It is just a great thing to tell people. It's a great thing to live by and tell yourself. When somebody's love bombing you, telling you how great you are and perfect and amazing and oh my God, don't take it personally. Nobody's that great or amazing. Okay? And same goes if they tell you how bad you are. Right? Don't take it personally. People saying bad things about people is a reflection of how they feel about themselves. Period. If you don't know that, just keep trying and trying. Someday you will, I'm sure. Number 3, don't make assumptions, right? What do they say? Make an ass out of you and me. It's about expectations. Try not to expect too much. Idealizing, right? I'm an idealizer. I need to really tell myself this all the time. And number 4 is do your best. Do your best. And that will allow you to not have so much regrets and not have to forgive yourself so much. Okay, great book. I'm going to put a link to Amazon for it down in the description box if any of you are interested. And like I said, if you read it, please let me know what you think. Thank you. So let's get going with the questions. First one is from Chris in Maryland. Hi, Chris. This was from the previous week, not just last week. I think I missed this one. And if I read it last week, I'm sorry, you guys, but I don't think I did. So I just want to read it again in case I missed it. So this is from Chris in Maryland. I'd like to thank you for your channel and all your videos. Thank you, Chris, very much. Thanks for saying that. I have a question. What do we do if we have a lot of the same coworkers and friends that they have fooled into believing that I'm an abusive person and made her unhappy, that I'm the crazy one? I think she is a covert narcissist because she always played the victim and was passive aggressive and gave me the silent treatment. Spun lies to everyone and even cheated on me, and everyone is on her side. They think I'm just an abusive man now, when in reality she physically attacked me and emotionally abused me with silent treatment, insults, gaslighting, and was emotionally unavailable. One moment she'd tell me she loved me, the next she said I was keeping her trapped and she hated me. I'd asked to talk and she threatened to discard rather than talk things out. In hindsight, I don't think I could have been any more calm or understanding. I don't think that was the problem. That you weren't calm enough or understanding enough. Might have been too much. I call it agreeable. I think you're too agreeable, possibly. But Chris, one good thing about stuff like this that we've all been in some similar situations, it seems like if we date a narcissist, is that she's unstable. If she's got a personality disorder, she's unstable. What that means is instability comes out and it shows an impulsivity, and that means we lose our jobs or we move a lot or we end and begin relationships a lot. So typically they don't keep the same friends for very long. Typically they don't keep the same job for very long. Or if they stay at the job, they'll start showing signs of really who they are over time. They won't be the best of friends to anyone that believes her anybody. Anyways, now, Chris, you may not like this, but I gotta tell you, period. People that sit and listen to this crap aren't healthy. period. And I don't care what you're going to say about these people, that they're great people, they have good marriages, they're healthy. No, they're not healthy. They're not emotionally healthy to sit and entertain this kind of stuff and pick sides and stuff. You know, I don't know really what they've done to you. You said that they believe it. Well, then they must listen to it. And I don't want to hear stuff like that. And anybody else healthy doesn't want to hear that kind of stuff. I understand people do bad things all the time. I don't need to hear about it. I don't need to see it. Don't want it in my life. Definitely don't want to hear about it at work. Right? So anybody that listens to it or believes it isn't healthy. But I got to tell you, the biggest thing, Chris, is we go to work to make money, not friends. So don't try to have don't try to make this your life. It's not. Increase your emotional life, increase your personal life with the people in it. Start new friendships, strengthen the friendships you have, Chris, because what it all comes down to is you knowing who you are, and not everybody's going to agree with it. But everybody doesn't know you, okay? And just like that book I recommended, Don't Take Things Personally. You are not going to change people's opinion of you, and the last thing you ever want to do is try to. If these people don't want to ask you and get your side and hear hear what you have to say about this stuff, even, and not that I'm saying you should defend yourself, but I mean, if somebody cared about you, they come and say, hey, so-and-so said this, and you could at least say, well, she's lying. She's, abused me the whole relationship. She's making up and saying that I abused her. And I believe she has a personality disorder, and that's what they do. I mean, if they don't give you the chance to even say stuff like this, who are they really? Anyways, who cares? Okay? And Chris, there's a ton more people out in the world that won't like you when they meet you too, besides just these people, because not everyone's going to like you, Chris. That's just a fact. Not everybody likes me, and I've accepted that a long time ago, and I'm okay with that. This sucks, I'm sure. I've been in similar situations. It's awful. It is. It's awful. But we don't try to see it, hear it, feel it. This should never be a problem at your work. If it is, you address it with your boss, and you don't allow it, okay? People that listen to this and believe this kind of stuff aren't healthy. And if there's going to be people that don't like you in the world, let it be unhealthy people. I'm really sorry, Chris, that this continues. Maybe you should take all this up with your boss. Good luck. Strengthen, try not to be exposed to it, hear it, see it, and strengthen your relationships at home, and work becomes less of a problem. Okay? Thank you. Keep asking questions, Chris, please. Edith from Montreal, Quebec. Hello. I do have a question. Sweet David, living with two narcissist parents, hard to take control of your emotions. Maybe that is why there is a correlation of becoming rebellious. I would think so. Yeah. Rebellious just isn't a teenager thing that all teenagers go through. We can't just chalk it up as our teenagers are starting fires, stealing, and not listening to us, and running away and not coming home. There's a problem. We don't just say, oh, just being a teenager. No, there's a problem. And if children aren't attached or have a healthy attachment with their parents, you're in big trouble. Parents and the children. Because really you have just a few years to prepare your children for life. Literally. Yeah, 5 years old, you're sending them off to school, and soon enough, they're going to care more about their peers than you. And if you don't have a healthy attachment with them, and you don't help them form their autonomy and listen to them and how they feel and what they want and stuff like this, their friends start doing that. See the picture? If you don't, and their friends are, guess what happens? They go run off with their friends, and they run away from your home, and they don't respect you anymore, and they don't listen to you, and they don't do their chores, and they don't care about school, and they don't care about all this other crap that you care about. They go and run off with their friends who care about how they feel. Of course they're going to rebel. Of course. Thank you, Edith. Whoop. Next question is from Susan in Toronto, Canada. I got some Canadians in town here. I want to say that since I'm watching your videos, I have learned a lot about my relationship with my husband and the problem that is affecting our relationship. You really make sense to me, and you explain things in a way that is easy to understand. I wanted to thank you for your videos and all you have shared with the world. I still don't know if my husband is a narcissist. Well, thank you for saying all that. Thank you very much. I still don't know if my husband is a narcissist or borderline, because he is a professional manipulator. And know how to confuse me. I marry him because he said, I can't live without you. I love you, and blah, blah, blah. It's awful to know that he used me. Susan, I'm terribly sorry for where you're at and how you feel. The label doesn't matter, okay? I understand you're going to watch videos and try to figure out if, what disorder he has, or does he have one. And I think that's going to be more of a distraction to the real problem, and that's you need to leave. So you can try to learn all you want to about this person that you want to leave or should leave, but we need to focus on us. Okay? Susanna, you need to focus on you, how you feel, and what you need to do. The labels don't matter. The neglect and abuse, the behaviors, bad behaviors, whatever they are, that's what matters. You're not happy. And if he doesn't care and can't help you change that, then you don't need him. I hope that you see somebody, a professional, that can help clarify all this stuff for you and be there for you and help you make some big time choices and decisions that you need to make, okay? Good luck. Thank you. Keep asking questions. Next one is from Tracy in Charlotte, North Carolina. Hello, Tracy. David, I have been taking prescribed Adderall for the duration of my narcissistic abuse, over 4 years. You said 4. You took Adderall for your abuse for 4 years. I don't know if that was recommended by a doctor or something. I did not realize it made things so much worse. Pretty much taking drugs for 4 years makes life worse. At one point, I was unable to focus on anything but him and his approval. Eating and sleeping were minimal. I ruminated and became obsessive with finding him during his silent treatments and numerous discards. Also allowed for sexual deviance, which we know they derive so much power from. Appreciate your wisdom, Tracy. I'm sorry, Tracy. I'm really sorry. I hope you're not taking the Adderall anymore. And I just want to say that there is no drugs for this. There's no cure in a pill. Doctors have some things that do help people sometimes, but when you're taking something like Adderall for 4 years, it's going to be problems. It's going to be, and yeah, I'm sorry, Tracy. Hope you're finding some clarity and feeling better now. Thank you. Next question is from... It's not a question, just a statement from Looking Behind the Mirror. Interesting. I think it's important to understand the difference between psychosis and narcissism. Thanks for explaining that. Narcissists aren't psychotic unless they are both. My answer is that's right. Think of psychopathy as a spectrum that we are all on, and narcissists are not psychotic, but higher on the spectrum than most. So there's a psychopathy spectrum that you could say we are all on. Hopefully most of us aren't very high. We're really down here, right? But as you have a personality disorder, you're immediately going to go up that spectrum more. And just because you're high in the psychopathy spectrum doesn't mean you're a psychopath, okay? Hope that makes sense. And I've said this before, I'm actually more worried about someone extremely high on the psychopathy test, but not a psychopath. It's almost like that double awareness, almost. I think they can be more dangerous. Thank you. Next question. Ooh, it's a doozy. Okay, Chris from Georgia here. Oh man. Okay, it's a big one. Hi David, Chris from Georgia here. I have never faced abuse myself, but I've been in situations where the bullying effects of possibly abusive relationships have made life quite difficult. That's abuse. You have been in abuse. That quick, that easy, Chris. Bullying your partner is abuse. So, I've never faced abuse myself. Yes, you have. A horrible breakup at the start of last year within my field of study led to a great deal of complications within the relationship between myself, colleagues, and the breakup participants. I believe I may have been a flying monkey in this situation. He cheated on her. She had to see him every day and occasionally his then new girlfriend every now and again. It sounds pretty bad, but in his defense, he had been trying to break up with her for a little while and she kept forcing him into the relationship. When he found someone he had felt something for while trying to get out of a relationship, this is getting confusing with no periods. It wasn't the right thing to do and caused a lot of problems for the girl later on, but it seemed like he had felt trapped in the relationship. Yeah, this is too much because this goes on very long. And it sounds like, I could be wrong, it sounds like we're making a lot of excuses for somebody. Then this is way too confusing. She said, he said, we don't know any of these people, it's too much. She could not let the breakup go and brought it up and seemed to try to pull everyone on her side against this guy who was also in our program. She was hurt. She left that hurt pull her anger to say some horrible things about him. And I got to the point where she started threatening her ex and her colleagues with violence. Let's see if you have a question here. Okay, and I wasn't exactly the nicest to him for a while, as I think I was sliding with her in the hopes that I could help her feel better and move on, but I was encouraging her behavior and making things worse for her by fueling fire, with a question mark. Does it sound like I was a flying monkey in this case? It was a smear campaign against this guy. I'm sorry, but it was just too confusing. It was too much information. Yeah. It was too confusing for me to read. I'm really sorry. Do you think you could sum this up? You said, does it sound like you... Probably. How about that? If you feel like you were, if you're afraid you were, you probably were. And it sounds like you're way too involved in someone else's relationship, and that usually where flying monkeys come in, right? Because what are flying monkeys? We're just acting for someone else. Right? We're just acting. We're just little monkeys with our wings on, and we go do tasks for the big bad witch. Right? Stay out of people's relationships, period. I don't care who they are. Stay out of them always. It's one thing your friend or someone close to you asks for advice. That's one thing. The colleagues, like you said, and coworkers and all this, stay out of it. Stay out of it. You're going to say one thing to somebody like, oh, that's a bad relationship, or leave the person or something like that, and both of them are going to come back and be all up in your face the next day. It's a million times I've seen this. And just stay out of people's mess. You know, we're all making mistakes every day, and don't stand in the way of them. Don't be involved in people's mistakes. Stay out of them. These relationships are for people to learn. Right? Let them make mistakes and let them learn from them on their own. That's my best advice. If you want to try to sum this up a little bit easier to help me understand, I'm totally willing to try it again. Please ask me again if you want, and I'll try to decipher what I think. But this was so much he said, she did, he said, a bunch of pronouns and stuff. It gets real difficult to follow that for me. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. Please ask me again, okay? Try. Thanks. Let's do one more. So this one is from Florida. Fate Twisted. Hello. My mother has no empathy, so that makes her a narcissist. Not necessarily. I have a question. My mother plays the victim. She thinks that her pain is the only pain that really matters. My mother came to my house last week. I should not have opened the door because she had birthday cards for my 2 teenagers. She said she loved them. But when I was alone with my mother without any witnesses, my mother told me that she doesn't want to be bothered with me or my kids. She said she doesn't want any phone calls and she doesn't do holidays. Why do narcissists act differently around some people? Why is my mother being nice to my kids and then behind their back saying she doesn't care about them? She doesn't know who she is. That's called an unstable sense of self. Since my mother is being honest with me about her feelings, I doubt your mother is ever honest at all. About her feelings of not having any empathy, does that mean I'm in danger? My daughter thinks my mother could possibly physically attack me. Why does your daughter think that your mother will attack you? Unless mother has been violent, there's no real reason to think this, right? I don't just think somebody is going to be violent when they never have. So does she have a history of being violent? You didn't say that. My daughter thinks my mother could possibly attack me, and I'm wondering if that's possible. When a narcissist takes off the mask, is that dangerous? Thanks for answering. Why is my mom trying to chum up to my children? Narcissists care about what they look like, right? So if she's a mother, she wants to be a mother. That's her identity. She doesn't have an unstable sense of self. So I'm a mother, right? She may not care about being a good mother, but I'm a mother. And then she's a grandmother. So they will posture and perform and be a grandmother, you know, because if she's not, then she's a loser. We all hate her, and that's all she cares about, what she looks like, what we think of her. Ego. If your mother's never been violent before, I don't see a reason why to think that she will be. What's really important is to know that she doesn't need to be around your daughters. If she doesn't care about you and the girls, then why have them around her? You're going to say because they need a grandma. Why? No, they don't. They don't need a grandma that doesn't care about them. That stuff rubs off. Your daughters pick up on this stuff. Somebody in my life doesn't care about me. Someone doesn't acknowledge who I am. Your mom is very unstable in who she is. So she says I'm this and then shows that she's that. Two different things, right? Very, very common with predators and manipulators. They will have different masks, they say, for every person, okay? Psychopaths, you know, I'm not saying she's a psychopath, but she's high on the spectrum. Psychopaths will typically abuse their family and be pillars of the community. Or they'll be decent family people, right? And total piece of crap in society. Masks. Unstable sense of self. Not consistent. Contradicting. Okay? I hope that makes sense. I hope that helps you. I'm really sorry. My best recommendation is to just stay away from people like that. Like what are you going to do? Change her? You're going to make her start caring? Or do you think it's okay to have people in your life that don't care about you? It's not. And it's bad for your children. So, I mean, children don't even need a mom that doesn't care about them. Right? Oh, they need a mother. No, they don't. Not one that doesn't care. It's just horrible attachment. It's going to have problems for the rest of their life with stuff like that, okay? I don't know if I answered all your questions. I think so. Unstable sense of self, so she contradicts, and that's the mask. I'm like this now, and I'm like this there. She cares only about what people see. That's who she is. Very stable, very unstable sense of self means that she latches more onto her identity, things that she identifies with. That's why mom and grandma seem to be important to narcissists, even though they don't even care about you. But the title, that matters. Does that make sense? Yeah, you don't need her. Okay? I would get some help and get the children, probably even in counseling. Couldn't hurt. Thanks. Let's stop part 1 here, and I'll start part 2 in a few minutes. If you guys could help me so much, really, really help me. People with PTSD, people suffering from abuse and recovering from it and trauma, they commit suicide at an alarming rate every day, okay? And maybe this information could help somebody from killing themselves. Maybe direct them into the help that they need if this isn't it, okay? All you guys need to do is push a couple buttons that could really help me. Subscribe to my channel if you aren't already. Vote. Comment down below, say hi, say where you're from, ask a question, and you can post this at different places, different people's channels, say, hey, check this out. You can put this into playlists, stuff like that, okay? Thanks, guys. Love yourself first. I'll see you in part 2. Bye.